What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Press X Podcast, episode 133, your weekly podcast for gaming news and opinions coming at you each and every Monday. I am Captain McManus. With me, Nick Hassell.
Yes, it's me again. In the flesh, kind of?
Sort of, in the voice.
Yeah.
We planned on doing video this week, but a bunch of stuff came up. We've been running around all day, and quite frankly, we didn't want to set it up after doing that. So
I've been sedentary all day, so I don't know.
Yeah, and I've been driving around all day, and it's just too much. So with that said, we're going to do one more week of this audio only. But as always, I appreciate all the comments and the feedback that I've been getting for those, the audio versus the video in particular. But one more week. Bear with us.
With an asterisk next to that, just in case.
Just because that's what we say every week. We just start making it a running joke where every week we go, one more week of this audio-only thing. With that said, talking about the comments from last week, let's move into some of those comments from last week. Actually, before we do that, I do want to say Comic-Con's going on. Yeah. There's lots of trailers, lots of buzz,
it's basically
lots of
what
news.
I call the television and movie E3.
It definitely
for all
is.
intents and purposes now.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So,
except for Marvel, because they're not there.
Yeah, Marvel's too
Which
big.
is kind
Marvel's
of
too big for San Diego.
Kind of a big omission. But anyway, I've done reactions to a ton of the videos and trailers and such going up. So if you want to check those out, they're on the channel. The only one that I wanted to do that I didn't was Young Justice Season 3 got a trailer. And I actually did the reaction to it, but I did the thing where it's recording, and then you hit record, so it pauses, and then you do watch the trailer and react, and then you hit record. So I recorded the two ends of it and not the actual watching of the trailer.
That old move, huh?
So I was like, guess I'm not doing this one because I spoiled that one for myself. And I just couldn't go back and rewatch it. That doesn't work. So I was like, okay, whatever. But I did the Titans TV show, so that's sweet. Aquaman, Glass, and Shazam were the ones that I watched. So if you are into that kind of stuff, go check it out. Now, with that said, let's hop into some comments. Joshua Maria says, great podcast like always, guys. I'm wondering what your guys' opinions are on the best Christmas titles for 2018.
Sounds like a topic.
It does. So that's something that we will be answering later in the show. Thank you so much for that question. Next up, we have Enrico Jesus Palma saying, don't know how others do podcasts in YouTube, but I usually download them on the app on my phone and listen to them during the commute to work. The audio only is fine, but it loses the appeal of the cool room you guys have for your podcasts. Yeah, that room, I remember when
Not so cool.
the extremely hot room and humid room for the podcast. Yeah, I remember when we first started the podcast, the idea was to add something to the room or switch something in the room every episode.
Yeah.
That was how we were going. And we did that for like 6 episodes, and then we were like, why are we doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just put stuff that we like up and leave it that way. And we kind of divided the room because it was originally me and Kellen.
Yeah.
And over time, we've just added stuff that we kind of all like or whatever. But thank you for the compliment on the extremely hot room. And once again, the opinion on audio versus video. Loving the feedback for this just so much. I've never seen so many people comment just like asking them a question or something. You mess with the format of something and then ask them if they like it, they'll comment.
Fair enough.
And then he goes on to say that if the concern is not facing each other, you guys can set it up like this other I went and checked out that podcast. Basically, they have a multi-camera setup. So if somebody's talking, it cuts to them, and they have a wide shot also. Yeah, I've actually worked on a setup like that. And the problem is you need a director to cut between them. And
we don't have one of those?
No, we don't have one of those. So that's the problem with that. But thank you for the suggestion. Maybe in the future we can do something like that. Last week's episode was heavily about OctoPath Traveler, 90% probably.
As well it should be.
Yes. And Zach Yoder says, I've been loving OctoPath Traveler. I finished all the chapter 1s for every character and started on the chapter 2s. I feel it is best to play the game in 1 to 2 hour bursts, otherwise it can get repetitive in my opinion. How are your 1 to 2 hour bursts going, Nick?
I have done a lot of those because I'm at 56 hours at this point. Probably by the time this goes live, it'll be like 64, I would imagine. So, yeah, I'm doing 32 of those 2 hour bursts.
Do you find the combat repetitive at all?
combat repetitive as in like it's the same system, yeah, but I mean,
but it's always fun.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel with good RPGs. Is the mechanics and stuff are repetitive. You're doing the same thing, but if it's like flashy and stylish, or it's got really good music, or there's a bunch of things that they can do to overcome that, rewarding combat, just giving you money and things that you want for the combat.
I mean, not to jump too far into it, but just the fact that you can get alternate versions of enemies, and it's not the same order each time. Like, even though it's kind of based on speed and a few other attributes, like it's never just like the same. Like, you can't do it blindfolded, sort of thing. So it's not too repetitive, but it's good, and it's consistently good. So yeah, I would call that repetitive, repetitively fun.
Let's just move right into what we've been playing, son, and we can start with OctoPath, since that's probably the majority of our time this week as well. You liking it? You're 50-something hours in.
Yeah, I'm really liking it. Obviously, you can look at the past like 2 or 3 years. Then anytime I get a hold of like the 100-hour JRPG, like I just sink my teeth into it. Usually, especially with like long work weeks and stuff like that, I kind of have to do like the 3 to 4 hour bursts, but I've just found a little bit of time this past week, and I've crushed it. So I'm probably halfway done, I guess, by most people's percentages, I guess.
Depending on what you consider done.
Yeah.
Some people are only they're like finishing their main character is done, but you're rounding out the group.
Oh yeah, I'm all side quests, I'm basically acting like I'm platinuming it, even though there's no platinums or
gosh, why is there no system like that on Nintendo's thing?
Who knows?
Where's that stamp system? I'd play your games more, Nintendo. I can't believe I 100% in Mario Odyssey for a loading screen. That's all you get.
But yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm just like the system's so deep in that game, and it's one of those where they add a bunch of stuff into it, like typical Japan, but they all kind of work in sync. So that's a sign of a good JRPG versus one where it's just like a bunch of things kind of button heads with each other.
Yeah.
So I'm liking it. I'm digging more into each character. I think I'm at the chapter 3s for everyone at this part. Or at this point, sorry. But like I'm doing a fair mixture of exploring, finding new places, because there's all sorts of caves and side paths and shrines and stuff to find. So you can, go off the beaten path and find something to where, you can walk in, find a cool little area, find some cool treasures, or you can walk in somewhere and just get curb stomped by like level 60 stuff. So
yeah, that's always fun.
So it just kind of depends. It's nice too, because you can sit there and plan it out. Okay, I'm going to grind here, I'm going to do this. And, certain enemies pop up and it's just like, oh, that just saved me 3 hours. Like you did, basically. It looked like last night.
I killed one
with
enemy.
The Kates.
I killed one.
With the cats or whatever that pop up. So,
yeah, they're like the golden hands or whatever you want, or like slimes.
Yeah, basically. But it's nice, and that's where I was going with is it repetitive, quote unquote, because that feels like a bad word, even though, I don't know, like you can say anything from like Persona, God of War, like all that's kind of quote unquote repetitive too. I don't think he meant it in a bad way, and neither do I. But yeah, really loving it, and I'm just getting further and further. I think I've got the map completed as far as like, like pulled all the way out, and all of like the fog of war, like gray areas.
I'm still struggling with the map. I've been trying to get to Primrose's chapter 2 for about 3 hours. I can't find it. It's so frustrating.
Maps are still your worst enemy.
Dude, I keep looping around it, and like I'm going the way I think it is, and then I look on the map and I'm like, I've been here 3 times, and then I teleport back to the closest town and I try again, and I just keep ending up in the same spot. I'm like, how do you get here?
And as far as like the people go, I used to only kind of like really like 4 of them, and then the rest were just kind of there, but it's balanced out a lot. The stories are really cool, even though like it is a narrative game, but it's not narrative in the fact that it's like 8 people all join forces to fight one big bad and save the earth.
I think that's part of my problem with it. Is I like that they're individual stories, but the stories aren't epic. They're very simple stories. And I don't know if that's going to be enough to pull me all the way through. It probably will now because I made the game a lot easier for myself.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm about to go into a level 20 area, I think, and I'm level 56 with my characters.
Yeah, that should do it.
So I should be fine. But I was struggling to like find the desire to grind to do the stories because I was like, I feel like I know where these are going.
Yeah,
you
were also kind of having some combat troubles.
I was having a lot of combat trouble.
So 2.5 times over the enemy level should help.
Yeah, that was good. So yeah, the way I'm playing it is I went through all the stories. I got everybody, and then I just picked the people that I liked the best.
Yeah.
Which I think the merchant's my favorite. And then Primrose is my second favorite. I like the cleric, but I don't think I'm going to use the cleric. So I just have a team of 2 right now. And I was like, oh man, this is rough, blah, blah, blah. And then I Googled and I was like, how do you grind in this game? Because I am struggling with this combat. Obviously, you can have more people, but then the enemies scale up more too. So I'm like, I don't know if that's helpful. And I looked it up and they basically said, well, the best way to grind is to use Primrose and Tressa. Is there
Merchant? Yeah.
Yeah. And then later you get, the ability to kind of double up on stuff. And they're like, oh, and make your other people also merchants and dancers. And I was like, really? Those are the best? And then I just looked more into it. And there's a way that you can... I wouldn't say cheese it, but it's pretty unfair. It took me 4 minutes to hit level 55, so it's something. But after doing that, that's what I like doing in games anyway. I did that in Nier. I just grinded to 99, and then I played the game. I do that in Final Fantasies. I do that in most RPGs.
Tokyo Mirage.
Yeah, I did it in Tokyo Mirage. I do it in
It was hard not to with that, though.
Yeah, that one made it so easy to do. And even I wanted to like hold back restraint in that one. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to 99 my favorite character instead of doing all of them. But I like overpowering my characters and then going through it. So now that I'm overpowered, I haven't gotten to the story yet because I still can't find the town. Yeah. But once I find that town, I will keep you informed on how it's going. But yeah, I really like the merchant. I just started doing their like skill tree things. I waited till I got everybody before I started doing that. And some of those abilities are really cool. And then I like that the more you unlock, you just get these other like passive abilities that made the game much easier. Like simple things like Primrose is a counterattack. So when you get meleeed, she just punches back.
Yeah, a lot of the people with lower HPs get that sort of thing too, where especially the cool thing is like with Therion, the thief, like most attacks miss him if you build up his evasion and he still gets that counterattack anyway. And it's pretty cool. It's just like, you didn't hit me, but I'm going to hit you back anyway.
Yeah, I really like the merchant's moves. I like that she can just hire characters to come fight for you. That's a pretty cool.
While making you money. Yeah.
Yeah, and she, everywhere you go, she's just like, hey, I found money. I'm like, oh, okay. She's very much a support character, but in a very interesting way. I think she's kind of the most unique, like, untypical JRPG class thing.
That's fair.
I've never really seen. I don't really see merchants into. I was curious how they're gonna make her work. And it's kind of bribing and buying things. Everybody, you can talk to anybody and open up a store for them, which is neat. I like her a lot.
There's one in Fire Emblem, but she doesn't work anywhere near that same way because obviously it's not the same type of game where you can just walk into a town and do whatever.
The hiring a hero was cool. When I unlocked that one, I was like, what does this do? And I'm like, oh, it just gives you all the options and you just pick what you want. Yeah. Each one's however expensive. Cool.
It's like ordering a pizza.
Kind of, yeah. But yeah, so I'm just playing those two. I'm just going to do their stories and see how it goes. And like I said, since I'm over-leveled now, I don't think I should have a problem. And I'm probably going to do what I did earlier and just hit 99 with them and move on from there.
Cool thing for me is like everyone's story is like down-to-earth and believable. It's really low-key. As you were saying, it's not epic.
Especially for the world.
It's very casual and stuff too, but like it's real dark. It's it's very mature.
I think I said it last time. I only played Primrose before I got the game. And I think her story is kind of I don't know how it goes, but definitely in the beginning, I think it's the darkest of the stories. I thought for sure the game was rated M.
The other ones catch up. And I said, I've only done chapter 2 of everyone's, and at first I thought it was like, oh, she's got the whole like Kill Bill sort of thing for this game.
Sure.
Give or take a few things, but like she's got this like revenge path. Okay, hers is going to be a dark story. then after chapter 2, I'm like, what game am I playing? Like, everyone's not having a good time.
Yeah, when I picked it up, I was just surprised it was rated teen.
Mhm.
I could have sworn it would have been rated M, especially from Primrose's story, because they're, they curse and stuff in it too.
Yeah.
I was just like, and in her story as her enslaved dancer, I'm like, man, this has got to be an M-rated game,
They're all in
right?
like taverns where people are drinking, and I felt like that combination usually just gets mature. Just for
I wonder if it was realistic graphics instead of regular, if it would instantly.
I mean, you could have nude people running around, you couldn't really tell just because of the art style.
That's true. There probably is actually. But anyway, I'm still enjoying the game. I haven't gotten bored with it.
Yeah.
Just a little frustrated with the combat and the map overview thing. The other thing that I do get frustrated with is like the game is clearly meant for the D-pad. Like it is. I have a lot of trouble with analog stick because when you're in the combat, say there's 4 enemies, if you point the analog stick towards the enemy you want to target, it doesn't target it. It still uses just like a list.
Left and right.
Yeah. It does it like a list. So sometimes I'm getting like cocky and I'm going into a fight and I hit like diagonal to target somebody and I hit attack and then it only went one over and then it attacks the wrong person and all this stuff happens. I also defend a lot by accident for the same reason, but that one's my fault.
Yeah, completely. Sometimes when I'm in like grind mode, I do go a little too fast, and by the time you hit the level 40s and 50s like I'm at, you have 2 separate jobs full, so you have like 12 abilities, and like if you go too fast you can pick the wrong things.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't mean to try to steal money from him. I meant to attack him. Oops. But yeah, like I said, I'm enjoying it. I think this is, I said it last week, but I think this is a must-own Switch game for sure. I'm curious, do you think it's going to come to PS4, Xbox One, all that stuff?
I don't know. It feels at home on the PS4, I guess, but...
Sure. I mean, JRPGs on the Switch are awesome because you can grind in your, portable time.
I mean,
that's why I like the Vita.
At least for the Switch, I hope not. I mean, I know they haven't had like...
That's fair.
They've had great sales, but they haven't had... They've had the typical like Nintendo stock of games. They've already apologized for it.
Surprised by the sales of it. I'm like, how... You made a really good game that people have been asking for. You showed it at the reveal. Everybody was most interested in that because I think when they first showed it, they didn't tell you what it was. It was just like a quick thing, and then later they actually showed it off. And everybody's like, that game. I want that game. Yeah. What was that? And Nintendo's like, don't worry about that. Look, it's Zelda. But I think it'll come to other things in like a year.
I hope it doesn't, just for the sake that, you can... exclusives are cool, at least. I mean, you want it to
especially
stay somewhere.
Third-party exclusives,
and
especially on a Nintendo console.
I don't know if it's going to be better. I mean, maybe you can up the graphics a little bit, but like you don't get that handheld to dock feel, and... I don't even know which one's better. I just know I play it on dock mode more often.
I play it way more handheld. I like before bed, I'll lay in bed and play it for a little while.
Well, that's my problem. Like if I played it on both instead of just docked, I feel like I would be at 72 hours right now and even less sleep than I got this week. Like I need to be able to put it away and say no, like stop.
The power of Nintendo.
Yeah. But I don't know if anything's going to be able to match it, because it doesn't need 4K 60 frames like most games these days. PC, I can't really see, other than mods, a reason why you'd rather own it on there than the Switch.
Yeah, the Switch is a really good place for it, for sure. Get them in Smash Brothers. Have like
go for it.
A Pokemon trainer system. I mean, they swap them on the fly. That'd be cool.
I'll take it.
Or just put in the guy with the sword, because I hear a lot of people at Smash really like guys that just have swords. So just put in the knight and move on. Only him. Have you played anything else besides this game? Or is this it?
No, I can't play. I mean, other than like my mobile games, but that doesn't really count. I can't play.
That was your 55 free hours that you had?
Like that's it. I'm surprised I even ate or slept last week. So
so I'm not nearly as far in as you. I'm like 14 hours or 15 hours at this point. But I did play some other things. I played Persona 3 Dancing. I platinumed that on stream. Had a lot of fun with it. Much better than Persona 5.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's because it's just I guess it's like the combination of things. Like it's got PQ music, it's had more time to sit out, so more times for people to like, here's P3F, we're gonna do remixes here. So like it's had like all these remixes and you can funnel it down into the best ones, whereas this is just the first shot for So I feel like a Persona 5 like Crimson, maybe it'll have some sweet tracks that might take some ideas from the 5 like excellent songs on Persona 5 Dancing.
Sure.
And go from there.
Yeah, I really liked it. I think everything, presentation, all of that, I think it was all better than 5. Like I said, 5 felt a little cash grabby, and this one doesn't feel as cash grabby to me. And I don't know if it's just because 5 just came out and now we're doing this, but 5 had a lot of stuff like they used a lot of songs multiple times. Like I think there was 3 or 4 Last Surprise remixes on the tracks. Like it was kind of a lot. But anyway, I platinumed it on stream. Had a lot of fun with it. I think that the songs lend themselves better. They're way shorter. Significantly shorter. I think.
Well, I can tell that too because I usually listen to it on my car ride, and I can see when a Persona 3 song comes up, 3 minutes. 3.5 minutes.
I was gonna say the average. There's a lot of 2 minute, like 2:40, sure. 2:50, which I think is good for a dancing game because you're you're not blinking or anything while you're doing these. You're so focused, and then these 4 5-minute songs that are all over Persona 5, your eyes are like bleeding by the time you get to it. So I just think that it lent itself better because of that. It didn't feel like they kept just doing the chorus again and again and again to end the songs. I think the characters' dances were better. They looked more like they would dance. The Persona 5 characters were a little awkward, and 3 definitely had some awkwardness with some of the characters, like Ken, things like that. But overall, I
would imagine too when you start going like kid size and like model and stuff like that.
They even did a good job with Aigis. Yeah, and she can't bend her arms. They did a real good job with her. But yeah, just the menus and all that stuff. I'm excited to play these in English, see what this comm mode is all about. Because when you're hanging out in the room, like it's cool to see their rooms. Yeah. But you just find the thing you need to find and then you're done. But when it's in English, I can interact with everything and see what he's saying about them, what the opinions are about them. So that's interesting. That was the one thing that I did think 5 did better was the comm mode, because in Persona 3 they all live in a dorm. Yeah. So all their rooms are the same room, just decorated differently.
That's the one thing you don't get is like, even though all these games are based on school life as like the backbone of the game, one of the characters didn't go to the school. One of the characters...
In 5.
In 5. And, you don't have quite as much dynamic, so that's that's one thing that a lot of people kind of wish is that they had more time to see them just hanging out, which is why, some people like maybe the anime a little bit, and some people like some of this other stuff going on, like the comm in this game or whatever. So that's kind of what people are wanting to see. So
yeah, that was the one thing that I noticed, like, by the time I got to the 3rd room in P3, I was like, these are all just the same room decorated differently. Whereas in 5, they're oozing with their personalities because it's their actual houses or wherever it is that they live. So overall, very good. If you could only get one of these, I would recommend getting 3. Yeah. But they're both good for sure. I've also been grinding away in Dark Cloud 2. I haven't been struggling, which is not... I mean, I've definitely... There's some stuff where you try to... It's got very punishing combat. Like, if you can attack something, like, you can block and then attack 3 times. And maybe his health is low, so you're like, I'm going to attack 4 times. Yeah. And then you just get destroyed and get game over, and you're sent right back to the menu. It's like, well, I got greedy. It's a lot of getting greedy. They tempt you with stuff. But I've been having a pretty good time just going through the dungeons. I didn't really struggle. I feel like I finally hit the nice balance of like my weapon strength versus the enemies that I'm fighting. Yeah. One thing that I will say is I constantly feel like I need money in this game. You use money, so
that's me in real life.
You rebuild the town, and to build the town, like, you need a house. But the house is made out of 10 wood and 3 hay and, whatever, scrap of metal. But you need to get that stuff from purchasing it. So you need to purchase to build the town. You need to rebuild the town to continue with the story. So you're like constantly going back to the dungeon to kind of grind money and not so much your character. And then even making your character stronger costs money, because the way that you level up isn't your character, it's your weapons. You level up your weapons. And to make the weapons stronger, you synthesize different items. So it could be anything, literally. But let's say you catch a fish. You can synthesize the fish and put it into your weapon, and then your weapon will be stronger against like fish type enemies and water enemies, things like that. But you need those items to synthesize. So like even that costs money technically. Like there's just every single mechanic in the game ends up being linked to money. You use this robot, but he takes fuel. You know you need food because if you get hit, which you do a lot, and you lose half your health, you need to eat something to stay up. You can get poisoned. You can get thirsty. You have all these things that you need to manage, and all of it costs money to buy.
Yeah.
So. I feel like maybe there's something out there that would help me out, but I feel like I'm always lacking money to like build the towns and stuff.
Yeah, this sounds too much like real life. It's almost depressing.
I always compare it to The Sims. I was telling
Yeah.
Todd, I was like, we were playing Fortnite or something, and he's like, hey, I'm going to go eat. And I was like, okay, I'll hop on Dark Cloud. And then like 3 hours passed, and I'm like, this game is like The Sims. Like, I don't think I'm going to play it for long, but here I am building a house 3 hours later, and I can't stop. So anyway, I played more Dark Cloud 2, getting to the end of Chapter 3, which is super exciting for me. And then finally, Shining Resonance Refrain is the last thing that I played. And I played it on Switch. It's on PS4, Xbox One. There's a demo. I played the demo. It reminds me a lot of Ys or Tales. It plays a lot like that style JRPG, kind of the dungeon crawling-esque aspect of it. And then the combat is sort of like Dynasty Warriors. You have... you have these attacks with cooldowns that you can do, and then it's kind of hack and slash basic attacks. Really like the characters. I think the character designs in particular really appeal to me, and the story ended up kind of catching me even in the demo because it is it's a Norse mythology story.
Oh yeah, I like those.
And now that I'm I've Hellbladed it up and I've God of War'd it up.
You're all Norsed up.
Yeah, I get it. So like they're talking about like Elfheim and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, I know what you're talking about. Cool. And they're talking about Ragnarok.
I get that reference.
Yeah, they're talking about Ragnarok and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, I get this. And then dragons come down. Oh, all right, I know what's going on. Cool. So yeah, I actually had a lot of fun with it. Now I'm playing OctoPath, so I don't have time to play this. But this is one of those like put it in the back of my memory. Maybe at the end of the year I'll grab it games. But like I said, there's a free demo.
Well, it shouldn't
so
be too hard,
it
especially since it's different with the combat system. If it was another like turn-based game, then it would be hard to do both. But if you want like your actiony brawler and your
it's definitely
turn-based,
real time action. So anyway, that's it for what I've been playing. Just kind of dabbling, and then of course Fortnite. But nothing too crazy has happened in that, so I don't feel like I need to talk about it for the first week ever. Yeah. sorry, listeners. Let's move into the news for the week. An Uncharted fan film launched. So this was teased by Nathan Fillion himself for a couple days. We're doing something Uncharted, Turned out to be a film that they posted on YouTube, and you liked it. You enjoyed it.
I enjoy just about anything Nathan Fillion does.
As somebody who doesn't know who that is, I thought this was very pandery. It felt like they were trying really hard to be the game, and it all felt real off.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not really going to say spoilers because it's just a fan film. But yeah, the second half of it, I can see that.
That too, but like even the first, like, I don't know, he sounds like him, but like he doesn't look like him, and they have a couple other characters that definitely don't look like their counterparts.
A little bit of background on him. He just actually acts like that in every role he's ever in. Okay. So that might help you like think he's not just like forcing himself to feel like Nathan Drake. But yeah, obviously he's, what is he, 50? He's up there in age. He's a little bit more stout than Nathan Drake, sure. So yeah, maybe the look doesn't really fit in, but the personality does, like 100,000,000%. Who he is, I found out about him watching Firefly and Serenity. That's where I picked up on him, and he's just been on a bunch of like ABC and whatever other shows. He's been all over Halo as far as like the background games, so sort of like ODST, and I think he even voiced one of the
like Reach.
Yeah, I think he was in Reach. I think he's been involved with it, so he's been kind of in the scene, and so he dips into movies, TV, video games. So he's like the ultimate San Diego Comic-Con type personality where everyone knows who he is.
Gotcha.
So, he kind of flies under the radar as far as like celebrities go, but he's just kind of involved with a ton of things. So It made sense for them to pull him into it. Yeah, he's a little bit older. I'm sure that's not him doing half of those action scenes, but it looked cool. And for what
I'm not mad I watched it.
Yeah.
Like, it was entertaining, but like, there's all these people who are like, "Ooh, make the full movie now." I'm like, I don't want to watch that for an hour and a half. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when it cuts to about halfway through, that it's a very obvious tell when it gets into like video gamey type stuff, and that's the problem with most video game series or franchises moving to the big screen, is they always want to do here's the first person view, or something like that. It's just like stop.
Doom. That was great in Doom. I loved when they did that.
We get it. Stop it. But no, I think a lot of it made sense, and you can tell like they're shooting it in a rich guy's like living room and backyard, like all that stuff. Yeah, like don't make that the full movie, but I like the fact that it drums up interest in that type of thing. And for me personally, I liked it because it had my favorite parts of Uncharted, which were me not playing it, like the controls.
Okay.
I really like the story. I'm a sucker for any like, adventure, go find the lost whatever, steal it, blow it up, whatever. Like the Indiana Jones, the
Find
Tomb
the
Raider.
lost treasure and blow it up. I love
whatever.
that movie.
Incidentally blow it up. Whatever. Even the National Treasure movies, which are bad, but I like the idea.
I think I like the first one. Wait, is there more than one?
Yeah.
Oh.
See? Yeah, I'm just a sucker for that type of stuff, so I like that, and obviously throwing in someone I like Nathan Fillion, super helps. But yeah, it was really fun, and I enjoyed it. But yeah, I wouldn't say, take that and make it longer.
Yeah.
Sort of like people do. I guess another comparison would be like Kung Fury, how it was like a YouTube phenomenon and people were saying make it into a feature film, which it is coming. Like that makes more sense because it's more like a full story and kind of like its original thing. But
it is its original thing, so they can kind of do what they want. It's weird when you're adapting something, or I guess they're not adapting it. They're telling like a side story.
Yeah, they made it sound like it's between...
I think it's 2 and 3.
I was going to say 3 and 4, but yeah, okay.
I think it's 2 and 3.
But yeah, obviously low budget, just for fun sort of thing. But I enjoyed the spirit of it, I guess, is what I'll say.
Sure. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't upset that I saw it. But I'm not like, ooh, that's our Nathan Drake. Let's get that movie going. It's not like that. Like, it's the same thing. Thing. They're trying to do the Deadpool thing. Right? They did the leaked Deadpool footage that they did. Sure. And then everybody's like, make the movie. And it happened. And it's actually a great success. I don't think Uncharted's going to have that that happen. Sorry to... but they're trying to get... Like, they seem to be trying to push Nathan Fillion in a Ryan Reynolds thing. How he was Deadpool. And he embodied it. And he acted like it all the time to try and get this movie made.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're trying to do that with this. And I don't think it's quite working.
Fortunately for that... And I don't think he'll be going to too many more conventions dressing up like that. I think he just likes doing his one little thing and then just kind of piecing out.
I wouldn't know. I don't know who he is.
So,
I did watch an interview with him afterwards, but
yeah,
that's up.
He's a pretty cool guy. And yeah, I don't think he's going to start showing up to Halloween parties dressed up as Nathan Drake. But, whatever. He's got other stuff he's got going on, so I don't think he's trying to pull that stunt. But you never know.
Next up. Spider-Man. There's a little game coming out for the PlayStation 4. There is a PlayStation 4 Pro revealed, also at Comic-Con, I believe. And it is a red Pro. You like it?
It is bright as red.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say it is beautiful, and I was like, ooh, I don't know about that.
I really do like it.
Do you? That's interesting. I don't like it. I also don't like red very much.
Yeah, red's kind of.
But it's
polarizing.
Bright red, like bright red, and then it's got the white Spider-Man logo.
It is. Don't wake up early in the morning and look straight at it red.
Yeah, I got excited because there was some fan art going around of that one, and then there was one that was black with the logo, and then there was one that was Spider-Gwen's, like it was like pink trimmed. And I was like, ooh, that one's cool. Not that I needed another Pro, but I was like, ooh, that one's cool. And then I found out those two were fakes, and the red one was the real one. I was like, oh.
Yeah, like if this was me a few years ago or not even having a Pro yet, either scenario, I would probably...
You'd bite? You got a white one,
I would
right?
probably bite it.
You bought a white one and then got rid of the game that came with it.
Well, yeah, I already had Destiny 2 on PC.
Sure.
But man, I'm really close. Like I feel the old me that wants to buy it just because I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how I would be walking in, sitting down, looking at the little
Bright
shelf
red.
of games and seeing like black, white. Nintendo Switch with the neon green. Like that's as colorful as I want the stuff to get.
Even my Switch, my neon green and neon pink Switch, I'm like, ooh, I don't really like that in my entertainment stand.
Yeah.
I take the Joy-Cons off a lot and just
Okay,
leave the screen in there.
But yeah, it is bright red.
Yeah.
So people who haven't seen it, go look at. Turn your resolution down.
Yeah, the
Turn the
thing is,
gamma
like,
down
I'm
on
like,
it.
oh, it's ugly, and I don't know why anybody who has one would already get it. It's a good jumping point for
Yeah.
people who don't have it, obviously. But then, like, they're coming out with that Pro for Kingdom Hearts in January, and I'm like, whew,
Oh.
I'd probably get that. So I can't really say anything.
well,
It's just got a bunch of hearts on it.
I was jokingly saying it too, but that's the only way I can pre-order Spider-Man on Amazon right now. It's a damn pro. So I might get it and then sell the system.
You might do the opposite of what you did before. I like it. It seems like Sony's doing this for all their games, though. They did it for God of War. They put out the I guess Horizon didn't get one.
Yeah, well,
But-
the other ones have been kind of, or at least compared to this, subtle, I guess I would say, their designs.
Sure. The Uncharted one, back with Uncharted 4,
Yeah.
it was that, like, it was actually really pretty. It was a blue.
Yeah.
It was like kind of like his shirt blue,
Mhm.
and then it had a Nathan Drake kind of stencil on
Mhm.
it, and I actually liked that one a lot.
But-
and the controller for that one was
Yeah,
awesome.
but this one's like Nintendo red, so it's
Yeah.
just, it's weird.
It is weird.
It's just a little off-putting, but yeah, I think it's just it's just like an aesthetic, I guess,
Yeah.
sort of thing. So it
I'm
just
sh-
takes some getting used to.
I'm sure we'll get one for Death Stranding and Last of Us. I'm sure they'll both get their own. Probably not Days Gone. Probably won't do one.
As long as it's not like a big baby on the Death Stranding one, that would be even more off-putting.
It just looks like the machine that they carry that
Yeah.
baby around in. That would be great. It'd probably just be the Kojima logo. If
Probably.
I had to guess. They like putting that on everything and selling it, so why not the PlayStation?
They'll probably make the Pro before the game comes out.
Next up, this is one that I thought was actually really interesting, so I wanted to talk about it. Silent Hill 2, there is a secret discovered for the game 17 years later. So there's been a lot of, not rumors, but speculation that there is a mini-map in this game. So Silent Hill has a map, but there's no mini-map.
Yeah.
And some people went through the files of the game and actually found a mini-map in the files, but no one really knew anything about it until very recently. Somebody figured out that if you beat the game and get its secret ending, so you have to have already beaten the game, which kind of sucks because it makes it sort of obsolete to do this. But they found that if you type in certain codes, it actually activates. So one of them is a hidden mini-map, and you do it by hitting start L2 square L3, and it'll activate the mini-map. But I guess people just haven't found it because you have to do it after already completing so much of
Kind of defeats the purpose
of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the way more interesting one to me is that there's a feature to allow you to save anywhere you want so that you don't actually have to go find save points. And it's D-pad left, analog stick left, right analog stick left, L2, L1, and L3. And that will make a save for wherever you're standing. I just think that that's really cool that so many years later, they found a cheat code for a game, and like no one's ever said anything about it. Or
It's definitely something.
yeah, Jack and Dexter had a similar thing happen last year, I think, or maybe it was only a couple months ago. Do you know about this one?
I do not.
So somebody figured out how to activate the debug mode in Jack and Dexter just on the game, and it's so much just on the game that you can do it in like the PS4 copy and the PS3 HD collection. Like it just works. So I think you can make your character fly anywhere, and you can do like infinite health and all this stuff. And it's like a 25 input code, but if you do it, it activates the debug mode, and you can do
So
whatever
it's like
you
a
want.
Mortal Kombat fatality.
Yeah, but then you can do whatever you want in the game. I just think that is so cool that so many years later somebody found that out. Next up, in news that pertains to Kellen, I really wanted Kellen to talk about this, unfortunately, but
I'll talk about it. I think it's sweet.
you think it's sweet?
Yeah.
Interesting. Rainbow Six Siege has added a zero tolerance policy for language. So basically, they're in essence enforcing their code of conduct.
Yeah.
Which is, let's say they have any language deemed illegal, dangerous, threatening, abusive, obscene, vulgar, defamatory, hateful, racist, sexist, ethnically offensive, or harassment, not allowed on our game. Which I'm sure 99% of online games have that as their
Anything
thing.
tied to the internet has.
But they talk about how toxicity is a very common problem in multiplayer games in general and in Rainbow Six Siege. So they're enacting a zero tolerance policy, and basically it seems mostly for a racist and homophobic language. And Kellen apparently tested it out as he
to
said,
the surprise of no one.
He said it took 10 minutes for him to get banned.
Yeah.
So good job, Kellen. I guess they put a soft ban on him for like 30 minutes or something.
To
like
be
that.
fair, he's not the racial slur, homophobic slur type.
I don't even
he's
understand.
Just inquisitive and wanted to see if the system worked.
See, the thing is, I don't understand, particularly with Kellen, but in general, like you go into a public room and you can talk to people. I understand that.
Yeah.
But like he's playing with his group of friends. Like, do you have to get like reported? Do you know how this works at all?
No, I would imagine I'm guessing it's just based on team chat. So it's not spoken word, obviously, but
oh, you think it's typed?
Yeah.
Oh, because you can type in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't play it on PC. I played it on PS4. You definitely don't type on PS4.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, is it for the console versions as well?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I have no clue.
I am assuming this is just on the PC version.
Okay.
Because the sort of software you have to detect that and quickly
to get out. Kellen in 10 minutes is pretty good.
To be able to boot someone out, because there's not a guy sitting on the computer going, "Oh, someone said an F-bomb," or whatever, and he's clicking boot. Boot the guy out like it's actual PC software. So I think maybe they can roll it out on consoles, and maybe there is a chat system or something like that, but I would imagine at the very beginning stages, which this is, I would imagine it's typed word PC only.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't understand why they don't just do a filter thing then, if that's such a
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Just star out any word that has these
or just give you an error or something like that.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say that.
But yeah, I mean that's a lot of assumptions for someone who's not actively using the game or been hit with this system or does any sort of infractions that would get me caught in their system. But I think it's a cool idea. Obviously there's kind of two sides of it. It's, the free speech, I guess, versus... Well, I mean,
it's a term that you're agreeing to. Though I did put as my first bullet point, I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of a bigger movement that's bigger than video games, and it's just kind of where we're at right now.
Is there a problem with people just saying stuff and there's some repercussions for what they say? That's interesting. Yeah. What a weird place.
So I think they're just kind of falling in line. I don't want to say it's 100% like a publicity stunt or just look at us, we're the good guys, sort of thing. I mean, you can look at any...
I think they probably have a lot of kids playing their game.
Yeah, that too.
And not to protect the kids. The kids are probably the problem, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, most people our age and older probably get that out during work. And they want peace when they come home to play the games. But
yeah, you're lucky if I talk to you in a multiplayer game. I don't really want to talk to people too much.
Yeah, I start dying when I'm talking to people. I'm leave me alone. I gotta laser focus, especially in that game for sure. But yeah, I like it, and I'm hoping that it's not 100%, like I said, a publicity stunt, look at us sort of thing. You can look at any Twitch, YouTube, video game, whatever chat, and it's just, it's Twitch chat. I mean, I guess has become the label for it, and anything to get rid of that is awesome.
Oh, you're not a fan of that?
I like it when it's funny stuff, and obviously if something silly happens, or if it's an Evo situation or a big upset or any sort of video game tournament, seeing people get hyped and just say ridiculous stuff. Sure,
you're talking about in the chat, not actually the players. Okay.
But when it's people, being serious or just a normal person and F this and you're a blank or whatever.
You don't want it to be League of Legends.
Yeah.
I've seen League of Legends. I've played League of Legends for an hour.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've seen more offensive speech anywhere in my life.
So I think it's less, hey, look at us, and more just like we're getting away from those guys sort of thing.
It also might just be one of those things like it seems like instead of a filter, it's just like a mark on your account type thing. So instead of blurring it out, we just mark your account. And then saying it is going to help too. Just being like, hey, we're going to enforce this will make people stop. At least some people stop doing it, or at least think about stopping.
And two, like I think they want people to type the bad word and then get dinged and kicked for it. Like that's more of a punishment system rather than just like going, oh, instead of typing dick, I can just put D space I. Like like people find their way around.
Yeah, I played
filter
RuneScape,
system.
Yeah.
So they want the bad guys to be bad so they can get punished and either go away or have to buy another copy of the game, an account, or I don't know, whatever.
I just loved that. Kellen said he was playing Rainbow Six, and I was like, "Oh, be careful what you say now." And he's like, "Yeah, I already got banned." Unbelievable.
Very much like a moth to a flame. That guy.
Yeah, he's got to push the red button. He sees it. It says "Do not push," but he's like, "But what does it do?" Very similar. Pokemon Go. A game that I very much like playing. Played it some today. They had Zapdos Day. I think I talked about Articuno Day when it happened, but basically for 3 hours, every gym had a Zapdos on it, and you could battle them and try and catch them, and Shiny Zapdos was out. And I have now done 22 plus of these raids, and I don't have a Shiny of either of the legendary Pokemon that they've done this for. I mean, they've sort of done it for other ones, but they did Articuno Day and Zapdos Day. I don't have a Shiny Articuno or Zapdos, so I'm getting pretty fed up with these running around for 3 hours, not getting a Shiny thing. And then, like, everybody in my group that I'm with getting shinies. That being said, I did trade an unknown for Mr. Mime. So I have Mr. Mime now, and I'm pretty happy about it. Yeah. Anyway, they're introducing a new policy as well. But theirs is a 3-strike policy. So basically, this is for breaking any of their terms of service, but mainly spoofing GPS, which is a big problem. And I'm glad that they're at least trying to crack down on it, mostly because it's starting to matter. With trading out, it's starting to matter, and with the Let's Go EV games and stuff, like people going around just getting all the 100% IV Pokemon and then sending them to Pokemon Go and then battling or not Pokemon Go, but Pokemon Let's Go, and then battling people in that, like, that's an unfair advantage.
I figured it wasn't a behavior thing, because if you're
there's no way to
that,
talk to
you
people.
are actually right in front of them. So I think that problem takes care of itself.
That is very true. But anyway, so if you don't adhere to the rules, you let something else log into your account, which was another problem that they were having. But that one, like, they would have things log into their account and basically scan all their Pokemon and tell you which one had the best IVs. But they don't want you doing that either. So they make it very cumbersome, where you have to type in like a whole thing on calculators to try and figure out how good your Pokemon are, which is a little much.
When tournaments for the handheld games and online for like DS and stuff started ramping up and became popular and kind of like the mainstay, they went through a lot of trouble filtering out what's a legit Pokemon, what's what could be sort of thing. So it makes sense for them now that, like you said, there's more systems in play, trading, another game coming out where you can import or export whatever. Like, it makes sense for them to start ramping up, because they have a lot of restrictions on what's what, because that's back in the day where, especially like Game Boy, but DS even too, like you could just generate your own Pokemon, make whatever.
Action replay.
Oh, I'm in the first area, level 100, capture. With my
I did that in
1000 Master
OctoPath.
Ball.
I don't think I cheated. I just played the game.
But yeah, it makes sense, because that's what Game Freak does for the actual games. So kind of follow suit.
Yeah, it's nice. So basically, your first strike is you get a temporary ban on rare Pokemon. They won't show up in your nearby, and they won't spawn on the map.
Yeah.
If you again break the rules, you get a 30-day complete ban. You can't log in for 30 days, and then if you break the rules again, you're permaban. And I think that that's a good slap on the wrist. It gives you enough chances to cut it out, which is nice. So Anyway, I'm happy about that. Like, I have a thing. Like, I could probably finish my Pokedex by trading people that spoofed pretty easily. But, like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want every one of my things to
So do you
be
get
played
slapped
the
with
way.
it too if you're not the one giving out the hot items, but you're receiving them?
I don't know.
Okay, I was
No.
going to say, there's no way to prove that.
Right. No, it probably goes on the device, and then the account logged onto the device at the time. I mean, I've played the game before, spoofing, not on my account, but on another account on a computer, to check it out. It was actually cool, but, like, I wasn't like, now I want to interact with all the other accounts. Like, that's not cool. But now that they've added so many features that actually let you interact with people, and especially the Let's Go games and stuff, like, it's too much of an advantage. So I'm glad that they're doing something about it, at least. Next up, Spyro Reignited. This is a hot September game that I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Their website was up, and it listed a Nintendo Switch version, and it listed a PC version. So, surprise, surprise, it's what we've all expected. They are working on a Nintendo Switch version, and then did Crash ever come to PC? I don't know.
Yes?
Yeah. I'd imagine it did, but
I think
don't know.
it came to PC before Switch.
Okay.
The Switch version.
I mean,
so
it came to Switch literally like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So,
And
yeah,
Xbox.
like not simultaneously with Switch, I guess is where I was going with that. But yeah, because it was on the Steam Summer Sale, I think. So yeah, probably sometime early this year, I would guess. But
Yeah, I mean,
it's on there.
It's on Xbox, so
Yeah.
it can go anywhere at that point, I feel like.
Mhm.
But anyway, yeah, they're working on a Switch version, a PC version, pretty much confirmed. They've not confirmed it, but like when people asked them in interviews before, because they only announced it for PS4, Xbox One, they would always do we're only talking about these versions of the game answer. Like, it's very obvious they're working on it, and you just had Crash come out for the Switch, and I'm sure
Probably
it did well.
still gonna get it on the PS4 just because it feels like it's its natural home.
I agree. I also will get it on the PS4, even if it came out on Switch at launch. Also, it might be a game I want to platinum. Got to keep my eye out on those games. I will say, I was thinking Castlevania Bloodstained might be one of those games I want to platinum. That 8-bit demake Bloodstained.
Yeah.
No platinum. Just like 10 trophies.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, well, I guess. Also found out Mega Man X Legacy Collection has a platinum.
Uh-oh.
None of the other ones had platinum trophies. So that's interesting. Is that true? I think maybe Legacy.
You'd be the one to know.
I think Legacy Collection 2 had a platinum trophy, but Legacy Collection 1 absolutely didn't. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Fact check me.
I will not fact check you.
I think
on
that's
that.
the story. Next up, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has gotten free DLC.
Yep.
It is already live, and it is a Breath of the Wild DLC. It adds the tunic from Breath of the Wild as a Link playable character, and it adds that bike, and it adds his paraglider as one of the gliding items.
I saw that pop up every time I logged into OctoPath this week. So
I don't like that Nintendo doesn't know what the deluxe definitive edition stuff is.
Sure.
They keep adding things to these games that I feel like have been done for years, and they just like won't let it go. The worst one to me was Pokken, because they were like, here's a whole line of characters, like new characters and stuff. I'm like, ugh, I thought this was the deluxe edition. But Final Fantasy doing it, like Final Fantasy 15, where they did like the Royal Edition, and then they're like, and we're going to do another year of content.
Well, the stupid part is that they, even from the get-go, they announced that they were going to do multiple years worth. So why do you just spit out I guess it's not definitive, it's just Royal, but like a definitive edition.
I mean, at least they announced that like at the same time, but like it's been a year since this Mario Kart game has been out.
At least it's free. That's my
that's true.
That's my only reaction.
It's been a year since the deluxe one was out,
Yeah.
and it's been however many years since 8's been out. It's just a little strange.
Yeah,
and when
quit
I saw
working
that,
on
I
8
was
and make
like,
9.
Yeah, please. And with that, they actually tweaked some of the gameplay mechanics and things. I don't know what. I didn't look at the patch notes. I didn't care that much.
Yeah.
But they did it. That's it for the news. So we can move into our question, which we talked about earlier, from Joshua Maria was, I'm wondering what your guys' opinions are on the best Christmas titles for 2018. So what I decided to do is do one better and go over, kind of the releases that we're interested in for this holiday, which I did October, November, December. But then I also brought up the 2017 calendar, and we can kind of compare them and just kind of get an idea of how this year is compared to last year's holiday season. So we can just go down this list, say any ones that we're interested in, and go from there.
Okay.
So starting with 2018. In October for me, Mega Man 11's an obvious one. Super excited for that. They've been doing these trailers of all the new characters, which I think is really neat.
Yeah.
And kind of dropping them off. It kind of feels a little bit like Smash Brothers with how they're doing it. Every month they're basically revealing a new character for the game, which I really like. So that one's a big one for me. Next would probably be Super Mario Party. Big Mario Party fan.
Yeah.
Bigger fan of traditional Mario Party. This looks like traditional Mario Party, or at least as close as we're going to get to it.
This is don't screw with it, Mario Party. So you call it traditional. I say don't put a Bowser mode in it.
Don't make everybody ride in one car.
Yeah.
So I'm also very excited for that, and that's going to be one that I'm getting. October, Soul Calibur 6 is one that I'm going to keep my eye on.
Yeah.
You're obviously going to be getting it.
Todd's obviously going to be getting it.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing it
Yeah.
regardless, I guess is my point. So I don't know if I'm going to get it. It depends on how much I end up liking it. But it looks so much like Soul Calibur 2 that I'm excited for it. And I've talked about it before, but I'm not the big third-party guy typically. I don't get too many third-party games. Ironic, this is where most of the third-party games come out, is this holiday season. So holiday season is usually pretty light for me.
And it got bumped up. Usually it's November heavy, and now it's October heavy or September heavy.
That was Red Dead's fault, I'm pretty sure. But I normally don't get third-party games. There's very few. I'll get third-party platformers and fighting games, and that's about it. I'm not big into the shooters or anything like that. So those are going to be absent from my particular list, even big games like Grand Theft Auto. With that said, Red Dead Redemption 2 is one that I'm very teetery with. I don't actually want it. I don't care really at all. But I feel like I should probably play it, and maybe I'll enjoy it if I'm part of that conversation where everybody's playing it.
Well, you're going to be missing out if you're not.
Right. So that one is a maybe on my list for that reason. But do I have any interest in the game at all? No, would be the response to that one. Next,
that's a unique answer for sure.
Yeah. Next, moving into November, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's it. I'm not really interested in too much that's going on in November either. And I think November is going to get a handful more announcements because there isn't too much announced for it. But right now, Let's Go is the only thing I'm interested in. And then obviously December we have Smash Brothers Ultimate, which I don't think is coming out this year. The more I think about it, I think it's going to get delayed. We'll see.
They've had a good track record so far, and
with the Switch, yes.
December
with Smash Brothers, no,
is a solid date for it. So
no, I agree, but Fallout doesn't appeal to me. Hitman doesn't appeal to these games just don't appeal to me. So those are going to be the ones that I'm playing, and it's a lot of party games or fighting, multiplayer games, and then a Mega Man game that's going to take me 2 days to do everything in. So for me, as almost always, October to December is my backlog time. Mm-hmm. That's when I'm going to be, cleaning up games. This is where I might get that Shining Resonance game and things like that. Hop in, maybe start Okami, The Witcher, these games that I've been wanting to play.
Okay. You're going to need more than just a holiday then if you're going to do The Witcher.
No.
You'll get tired of it in 2 hours.
Yeah, it would. I would give that game 10 hours. But that's it for me. What are you thinking about 2018?
Well, my big thing, even before we hit October, is that I'm getting a Dragon Quest game. So if there's any time to fill in this period, it's going to be that game that's going to do it, because those games are long, and I'm not going to even know what I'm doing in them. So
yeah, to be fair, I'm going to be playing September's games well into October.
That's going to be my main backlog game to fill in any space, which I'm not going to have because a lot of these games I'm going to get. Well, maybe not a lot because it's a big long list, but Forza Horizon 4 for sure, Horizon, Forza games are much more where I'm at, I guess, with racing games, because the typical Forza games now, like I've got other games that can kind of cover that area. So now I want the kind of off the road, off the beaten path Horizon game, and I like them more, obviously, because I don't even buy the Forza games anymore. Aside from that, I'm gonna get Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm not sick of Assassin's Creed like I was back when it was the yearly installment, which it was
is
like it's back. But
they
they're
took a whole year off, put out a movie, and now they're back.
They're adding other games features, as in like dialogue and options and romance, and you can play the guy or the girl. Like, they're adding some other games.
They had that in Syndicate. Sorry, it drives me crazy.
Oh, I'm not saying it's the first time they've had it. I'm just saying like it's all in a big, cool little package. So sure, I'll get it. I'm the same on Super Mario Party. That's obviously, just spoiler
we can put
alert.
our switches together and do that one mode.
Spoiler alert for this podcast. We're probably going to be talking about it from mid-October all the way through the end of the year. Other than that, for me, I'm not going to dabble in the Battlefields and the Call of Duties. I thought I was. I really thought I was. And then they dropped Soul Calibur, which is on the same day as Battlefield 5.
I don't think we talked about it on the show. Like, I was curious about Call of Duty, mostly because of the Battle Royale. I'm still waiting for a good, first-person Battle Royale to try out. There's just not too much of that going around. Have you heard about, the DLC practice for Call of Duty at all?
Yes.
They're doing, the map pack type thing again that everybody hated.
Yeah.
But it's exclusive. To the deluxe edition of the game. You can't even just get it.
So at first, I won't even call it 3 strikes, but the first strike was
the single player?
Soul Calibur 6's release date was my first strike against it, and I was already like, ooh, I don't know, because I don't want to be the Christmas guy playing Call of Duty for the first time, because I've been on the other side of that way too many times.
That's fair. And
I love it, and I'm not going to be mincemeat for a bunch of 10-year-olds.
Sure.
I'm not going to be that guy. So that was the first strike. Second strike was that DLC plan, which just boggles my mind, because I don't like signing up to this big deluxe package.
That and just if you didn't get the deluxe one, too bad.
Yeah.
You're getting to play with half the players now. That's awful.
Well, and that's my thing too, is I'm going more towards stop getting the middle or most expensive version of the game. Just get basic, especially if it's something that I'm not going to put 100 hours into, like a Call of Duty. I'm not going to prestige 27 times in that game. I would just play it to waste time, basically. So yeah, Call of Duty and Battlefield are both off the list just because of those types of things. Battlefield 5 looks cool. Call of Duty Battle Royale seems interesting too. Those things kind of seem cool, and I usually get that first-person shooter itch around that time of year. But I'm just going to have to ignore it because there's just not going to be time to play it with some of these longer games. Because, Forza, 20, 30 hours. Assassin's Creed, probably the same.
Yeah.
Soul Calibur, who knows?
Infinite hours.
It depends on how much I like it. Right after that, we got My Hero One's Justice, which is an anime that I like. Kellen likes, a couple other people are kind of into that we know of. And it's, once again, sort of like Kill la Kill and sort of these other games where it's just...
what is it called? My Hero Ones? What's it called?
The actual show is called My Hero Academy.
Okay. I only know the Academia thing. I didn't know if it was
Yeah.
That's
My
what you're
Hero
talking
Academia.
About. Oh, okay. So it is that. I wasn't sure if it was something.
But they're just calling it My Hero One's Justice.
Okay. Just making sure I know what you're talking about.
So that's what it is. But it's another one of those third-person offset bash into each other games. Which, like I said, that's kind of like the new trend or whatever to do. Same thing as Jump Force and whatever else is going on. So there's that. I'll get it just because I like the actual franchise itself. Why not? Have some fun with it. Obviously, right after or same day as that is Red Dead Redemption 2. I am big on that game, like a lot of people. And
yes,
that's why I'm not so ready to declare a game of the year even right now with a game that's got me sunk into it, just because there's been a lot of buzz, but like they haven't shown much of anything. So it's just like it's weird to call it a dark horse because it's a big name in video games.
I like horse being in that. It's cute. But
you feel like this is either gonna flop or just like
Red Dead. No.
I don't know. It's just weird to not have a bunch of information on.
It's because they don't have
a Rockstar game.
Yeah, they don't care.
I guess they've just gotten self-aware at this point. So that game's coming, and everything stops for me when that game comes out. Just because, I mean, you can look at your Twitter when that's going on. You can look at YouTube. It's gonna be all the titles.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm probably. I would say I'm like probably 70% going to get it at this point. But like I said, I'm 0% interested in getting it. I just, if I'm maybe on the off chance I like it, I don't want it like spoiled for me. I had the first one spoiled for me. So
do not YouTube search Red Dead Redemption then, and you won't see 20 million videos like, oh, spoiler ending. Oh man, when he shoots this guy, like, oh my gosh. With a thumbnail image that shows the
I can't believe he's
climax
gone.
Of the game.
Yeah. That's awful.
I was going to say if there was any impulse buy on this list that I went ahead and pre-ordered all the games that I'm going to be talking about. If there was any impulse buy, it would be Hitman, I think. I feel like I missed the train on the first one. I watched a little bit about it. I love the old Hitman games way back, but I just kind of never got a chance to get into it. But Red Dead Redemption's right in front of it. Fallout 76, which is my next one on the list, is right after it.
I just can't get behind that game. I don't think I like it.
Just the potential for that game is too good for me to pass up. I'll also be getting Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, most likely. I forget which one I got, but I'll get that even though I don't have Go to
you can play it with
make it round out, I guess. So it's sort of like getting the old Stadium games and not having a Game Boy cartridge
to plug into it. A good comparison.
But I'll wing it.
I'm more and more excited for that game. Like when they first announced it, I was like, okay, that's cute. Yeah. And then like I pre-ordered it, and then I started thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, this is Pokemon Go too, huh? And then I kept thinking about it. And now I'm at the point where I'm like naming my Pokemon in Pokemon Go just their number, so I can get to like the 1 to 150 before the game comes out. I'm like a madman now. I'm like, I gotta catch this other Pidgey so I can put him in my Pokedex.
Kind of one that came in hot towards the end was Darksiders 3, so I'm on the fence about it. Like, there's nothing wrong with the game to make me go, I don't know if I'm gonna buy it or not. And it's not like there's a lack of information. I mean, they're talking all about it now and showing videos and everything you could want. It's just like, man, like I was prepared for this end of the year, and now this comes along. It's just like, can it wait till 2018? Or 2019? And I think it's yes.
Yeah.
There will be some people talking about it. The only thing is, I know someone who works at that studio, so I feel like even more obligated. Like entitled. Or
I feel that way with some games too, but I'm just like, I don't play racing games, so it's just not gonna happen.
I'm definitely going to get it. I just don't know when I will play it, I guess, is my official answer. Just Cause 4, I feel like I want to play this, but this game for me is more fun watching people play it and just doing stupid stuff. And just being like, okay, I've been like sated, I guess, on ridiculous, wacky stuff.
I'm excited for that December downtime because January is gonna be a big month for me.
Yeah.
I don't have the releases here, but I know Kingdom Hearts is coming out. Resident Evil's coming
out.
Do you? I think Kingdom Hearts is coming out. Resident Evil's coming out. So like, as soon as it hits January, it's going to start ramping up again. So I'm glad December.
And there's not much to say about Smash. If it comes out when it says it's supposed to come out, that's going to be an awesome December because it takes a few weeks for you to, pick out your person, especially when they give you every single Smash character.
Maybe unlock the characters, which is something
that
I'm
most of the month.
Is something I'm interested in, like. Because that game is such a party game, obviously, but in this one in particular, I guess because they're like, oh, you can just bring your Switch to people's houses and it's not that big of a deal if they have a dock or whatever. It's not like you can just start, like, we can't get it and then come back here and then play it and we have our characters. Like, we're going to have to figure out how to unlock our characters and stuff. It's going to be interesting.
One of those untold things about Pokken system.
Yeah, they have an unlock all tournament mode.
They have like a tournament mode and you can just play it from there. Like, I love that so much.
It's a hidden password that nobody tells you, but it's cool.
Because each Smash game's actually a bit of a grind to get everyone. Like, it takes a little bit.
I've done the stuff where you just leave it on overnight and you wake up and you're like, oh, I unlocked Mewtwo. Cool.
And to have...
And they made it sound like it's going to be not a chore, but more of a... Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's, like, challenges you need to... Like, multiple challenges you need to meet to unlock certain characters.
But obviously, they're not going to make it something where only, like the Smash Pro players could do.
Oh, no. I just think it's going to be more time consuming.
Yeah, it'll just be grindy, which is just weird. But yeah, that game will take up a solid month as far as grinding out, getting the characters.
I'm so excited for that. If that comes out, and December would be perfect for it, too. We can definitely do a lot of Smash, which will be great.
Yep. That, and if we get tired of beating each other up or mad at each other, then we can just play Mario Party.
and beat each other up and get mad at each other.
Mad.
With that said, I want to just kind of gloss over some 2018 releases that I picked up and then that you picked up.
2017?
Or sorry, 2017 releases that I picked up and you picked up, just to kind of compare it to last year. So for me, going through October, I ended up getting South Park Fractured But Whole. Didn't play it still. That's on my backlog still, so that I don't even really count that one. A Hat in Time, but I've just now started playing that once again. I didn't actually get any of these games in October and played them right away at least. November, I got Pokemon. No, I didn't get Ultra. I got regular Moon. I didn't get any of these games in November either. And then December, I got Doom VFR. And I'm pretty sure they had Skyrim VR in November. So I got Skyrim VR. And I got the Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition, and I got Okami HD, even though I still haven't played Okami. So
Sad
like
times.
that's what I'm saying. The October, November, December months to me are really my downtime. I'm very much like the opposite of, for like a movie reference. Like I don't go unless they're like superheroes that I care about. I don't typically go see all the big blockbuster movies. Like I'm not going to see the Jurassic Worlds and the the Transformers, all this stuff. But I'm like, oh cool, there's like this movie made by this guy that I like. I guess I'll go see that little small project, or this horror movie. Like I'm definitely not the demographic of the 4-quadrant things, which is where they're trying to sell their space for November and October. So you, however, got a lot of the games from those times.
All of the games.
Wait, what did you get?
Didn't get Forza. Like I said, I skipped the mainstay games, which is weird for me to get the offshoot version of a franchise and not the main one.
Yeah.
Got Middle-earth, Shadow of War. I feel like I crushed it. Like that was, I'm starting to remember now, like I went week by week was just, I gotta finish. Because this was all in a very short span of time. Middle-earth, finished it fast. I want to say it was like a 20-hour game or something like that. Most of it was the 10 extra hours they add in at the end and force you to do for the true ending or whatever. Evil Within 2, I watched my favorite streamer play it and
felt good.
Play, start to end. So I digested it and, got to witness it. So I count that as playing it, or at least, whatever. Like I spent as much time as he did on it. I just didn't have the controller. GT Sport, definitely got that. And really dug that game. Like, it was just slow, like sleek and like professional. It was just really cool to get that, and that's why I didn't get Forza.
I was gonna say
is because the true king of simulation racing came out right after it. Got South Park, but I think I got it way later on like a Steam sale, so I don't know if that counts. Fire Emblem Warriors, really liked it. Got it. Once again, crushed through it real fast because the week after that was Destiny 2 on PC. And I feel like I played that for the majority of October.
Jeez.
And then...
this month was stacked.
And then somehow managed to play Assassin's Creed Origins and beat it in like 30 hours.
Oh, I skipped over Odyssey. Mario Odyssey, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
That's a big one. That was 100 hours.
Wolfenstein crushed through that because it's a lot more digestible than some of these games, or at least the game length of some of these. I played Your Odyssey, and I played it in December. So I didn't buy it, I guess, which I might be the only person with a Switch besides Kellen, I guess, who doesn't have Super.
I can't believe
Mario
Kellen
Odyssey.
hasn't played it.
Once again, skip Call of Duty. Wasn't into the... ideally I was into World War II, but I don't know. It didn't come into fruition because of all these other games. Did not get Doom Switch, even though I'm a huge Doom fan.
Did not get an Xbox One X.
Did not. No. Got Ultra Sun and Moon. Skipped Battlefront 2 because I was very against their policies. I couldn't stand it, even though they quote unquote fixed it pretty soon after.
Quote unquote shut it off.
Yeah.
Disabled it.
And December I got Xenoblade 2 and somehow finished it that month. And bought Okami HD just because I want as many versions of that as possible because I love that game. But yeah, that one, like when I started looking at the list, I was like, oh my god, like I remember the frantic pace because it was the same thing at the start of the year when it was like Breath of the Wild into I know this order isn't correct, but it was like Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, Nier, Horizon, a couple other things, and I was just like,
there's so much going on.
Like,
and at that time we were all like, there were so many games that we individually weren't getting them all, and you were like, here, borrow Nier, and I'm like playing through Nier and you're playing through Mario Odyssey, and like there was so much that year. It was so crazy.
I'm usually too, I mean, if the whole OctoPath at the beginning of the episode didn't clue you in on it, I'm more of like a fine wine type with like how I play
I see
my
you drinking
games.
fine wine all the time. So.
Nah. But with like how I play the games, like I don't like to feel like there's a due date, which is why I could never do like editorial stuff and like put out articles,
embargoes and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless they gave me like 3 months to play it. But no, like I don't like that. Like, hey, you done? Are you done yet? And it's just like, stop. Like I want to.
That's how it felt
breathe.
last year, and it was a little much. Though this year I find myself wishing for a little bit more. Though to be fair, I have missed, like I haven't played Detroit yet. Like there's a couple things that I missed that I still need to play. So I guess that's maybe not completely fair.
It's totally your fault on that one. But yeah, last year it was just like constant 24/7. Like it felt too fast, and this one feels a lot more breathable until we get to September, which is gonna
September is gonna be where it feels like that again. So yeah. 2017 obviously better, but like I said, I'm a very skewed person to talk to for this. I just don't buy the third party releases, which are all the rage in the holiday time. So
I guess the original question was, what's the opinion on the best Christmas titles? Obviously, like the Call of Duties and the Battlefields are super popular Christmas titles, I think, because those communities don't go anywhere. Obviously, there's single-player games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like Red Dead Redemption, I guess, but it's likely going to have an online mode, I would imagine.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's hard without knowing exact tastes of people. But, like, you've got your fighting games and your platformers and stuff that you want. If I had to get like a cousin or something, like 2 games, I didn't know anything about them for some reason. They're this foreign cousin that I don't know, and I had to buy them 2 games. I would probably get them, and they had everything. I'd probably get them like Red Dead. I'm gonna assume they are 18 years old. I'm going to get them Red Dead, and then
they just have to be 18 to buy it.
That's true. That's why they have those toxic things on Rainbow,
as indicated by Xbox
for that
Live.
exact problem. And then I'd probably see. I wouldn't, in good conscience, want to get Black Ops just because of all their garbage that they've pulled. Yeah. So maybe like Assassin's Creed, like those would probably be like the 4 quadrant game type things that I would get somebody. But yeah, like me personally, I'm getting Mega Man 11 and I'm getting like Soul Calibur. Those would be the choices if it was Baby Kevin that we're buying games for. I
don't know. Like, I mean, if you got a Switch, obviously the choices are Smash Brothers and Super Mario Party. That's it. Don't even worry about anything else. You can play those by yourself enough and get enough out of it. And then you can also call in the family or call in friends and play through the rest.
Call the foreign cousin, get him over here and play some Smash.
Foreign cousin, and get probably 5 times as much game time out of it with the other people there. If you have PS4, very obvious option with Red Dead, but also you can get Soul Calibur, which should last you a while. Assassin's Creed, once again going back to that one. If you're an Xbox person, all of those are still on there. If you're PC, Pretty much all of those except for Red Dead.
Yeah.
You pretty much have it covered. So pretty much any sort of taste, whether it's shooter. Obviously, this is the time for shooters to come out. If you're a fighting
I feel like anybody can find 2 to 3 games in here
Yeah.
pretty easily that they would want. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that the best game that is probably coming out in this time that just hasn't been announced is called Tetris Effect. And I'm very excited for that.
Oh,
and
I don't know about best, but
I
it's
imagine
definitely
that's
pretty.
in November.
And
that's
sounds
a November
awesome.
game.
But yeah, I mean, almost anything. Racers have a game or two. Fighting game people have a game or two. Shooters have a game or two. RPGs have a game or two. Like everyone's got something in there.
Yeah.
What from Japanese games to Western games to everything in between. And there's even Just Dance for all you other weird people out there.
Yeah, for all the other, it's the best-selling game.
Yeah.
So, releases for this week, very interesting, I would say. Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. I think they're good. I think this is a good, solid week. So we have Banner Saga 3
Oh yeah.
for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC coming July 24th, which I know is something that you've been going through the Banner Saga
Like me
story.
some Banner Saga, even though it's one of those games that makes me feel like I always make the wrong decisions. And I've even like loaded a save and gone back and done different decisions, still the wrong decision somehow. So feels punishing.
So
but I
it's
like
basically like me playing any game with multiple endings.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
how
just-
do I always get this bad one?
I'm good with managing real life people in real life situations, but video game situations, I'm just like, I can't. Let me just be the minor character who rises up into greatness. Don't put me in charge of people's lives.
Next up, Mega Man X Legacy Collection 1 and the Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2 for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC coming July 24th. The first collection is Mega Man X through X4, I believe, and the second one is X5 through X8. One of those is significantly better than the other ones. If you buy it on disc, you get them both together. So that's nice.
Yeah.
But on the Switch, you only get the first one on the cartridge, and then the second one's a download. So it's similar to like Bayonetta, in that regard, and that's a little bit weird. I'm gonna end up getting this for PS4 just to kind of round out my Mega Man collection. I already have all the PS4 releases. I'm gonna get 11 on PS4.
Yeah.
I might as well keep with that theme, though I might get 11 for Switch as well if I can find it for a discount or something, because there's an amiibo for it and I'm kind of interested, but we don't know enough about it for me to give my opinion. But yeah, Mega Man X4, one of my favorite Mega Mans, so I'm very excited to go through and play these again. And also, I've never played X8 ever,
Oh,
so
there's one you haven't played.
I'm kind of curious. I own it. I actually bought it like 3 years ago. So I have it, and I've just always wanted to stream it for some reason, because it's been so long since I've played a new Mega Man game. So I've always kind of wanted to save that one to stream. So maybe I'll do that. We'll see. But I'm definitely going to play through those. And there's a platinum trophy, so I haven't looked at the trophies. But depending on how hard it is, maybe I'll platinum it. Next up, No Man's Sky is coming to the Xbox One July 24th, and with that, the No Man's Sky Next, I believe it's called, update is going live for the game. This adds full multiplayer, all the basically all the stuff that they were talking about in their interviews. Yeah. I'm going to be hopping back into No Man's Sky for this.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm curious. I think I'm going to just like delete my save and restart completely, because I did try to hop in when they added base building, and the controls in that game are so obtuse. Did you play it? Did you play it?
No.
Oh, okay, you didn't play it.
I did not like how that game was handled up until release. I didn't like how it was during release, and that boat has sailed since. So
I really enjoyed the game. I think it's actually like a must-play game, but it's for the reasons of like just flying to another place is one of the coolest things you can do in a video game. But the controls are really obtuse. Like running is on like the right stick or something like that, and it's just really strange. And I remember and it's a lot of inventory management. There's a ton of inventory management in it, so I didn't want to be super confused with like while I'm in an area that's like actually dangerous. So I kind of just wanted to restart and do it fresh. Maybe get a group together, play together, because I guess you can do that We'll see.
Sure.
I will report back. Next up, Train Sim World is coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC July 24th.
Man.
Is it telling me to go play a different game? Next up, Sleep Tight is coming to the Switch and the PC July 26th.
Something I'm not doing ever since OctoPath came out.
I don't know what that is.
sleeping
That
tight.
sounds like a spooky scary game, but then it says Switch, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a spooky scary game. Not entirely sure.
Who knows? They are broadening their horizons.
That's true. But yeah, I think that's a solid week. I'll be grabbing the X Collection stuff. I'll be hopping back into No Man's Sky. I'll keep my eye on the Banner Saga. Maybe if they do like a collection or something like that in the future.
I think they are.
Are they?
Yeah, I think they are.
Interesting.
I thought I saw like a bundle, basically.
That's interesting to me.
A physical bundle on top of that.
And then what was the other one? I don't know. There was something else that was. Oh, I remember. Thumper is also going live for the limited run games.
Yeah,
as like
I bought one thing from Limited Run and they blew up my inbox. This whole, there's like 27 emails about Thumper. I'm just like,
that was the other one. I've been wanting to play forever, and now that it's finally getting a release, I got to pre-order that. So I was doing my pre-orders the other day, and that's why I was like, there was something else I bought. What was it? It was Thumper. But yeah, solid week. Maybe be streaming Mega Man X. Maybe click on the link in the description to the Twitch and hit the, what is it, the follow? I don't know. I really enjoy streaming. It's fun. I talked to Todd about it a little bit. It gives you a very level head because you can't like just blame the game for everything like I normally do when I'm like playing Fortnite. I'm like, oh, the game screwed up and all the like. There's just straight video evidence that's not what happened. So
yeah,
you need
I kind
to
of
be
wish I
way
had
more logical.
Just the progress of me. It's obviously be 50, 60 hours at this point, but playing OctoPath and just going like, okay, I'm going to go to this area because of this. And just like, oh, a cat showed up. Never mind. We can just go ahead and go into this area now. And kind of reacting to the stories. Because like I said, I've just been sitting there and been like, whatever. Okay, this is a cool little 8-bit game. It's just like, holy crap, this is dark.
Yeah.
So that would be cool to have done that, but I don't know. Like I couldn't put a camera on myself for that long, I guess. So.
Setting it up might be the most frustrating thing I've done in my life. Setting up streams is a nightmare. But then once I get them working, I have fun. So it's a bit of a payoff. But if you would be interested in watching some of that hanging out, go ahead and click that link and click the follow button or the heart button or the subscribe button or the whatever button it is.
The donate button, right?
The donate, yeah. Go ahead, click that donate button, type in that 100 and hit enter. But that is it for all. What was the thing I said last week that I really liked? All the news, all the opinions and releases, all the releases, news, and opinions that we have this week. I don't know. I think I wrote it down because I liked it a lot, but I didn't bring it. So here we are.
There's an audio file of it somewhere, I'm sure. So.
That's true. But anyway, thank you for being here, Nick.
Yeah, you're cutting into my OctoPath time.
And thank you guys so much for listening. We will speak with you next week, hopefully, with video, if all goes right.
Would you miss it?
We'll see.